Good afternoon, YouTube watchers. CNY Bandit here. This is Jared, and I wanted to do a quick video with one of my new setups with a new Stanley cook kit that I updated from one of my last videos. I do appreciate all the likes and the comments and subscriptions. For my Stanley Boil and Brew video and the hacks that I had with that, along with the Stanley 2-cup cook set. This video is going to be featuring the Stanley Mountain Series compact cook set. And I had a question, I guess I had a viewer ask where I got the tin can for the Hobo stove that I had just kind of quickly shot in another video. And the can that I used was the Armor Chili can. And I got this from a local Dollar General store here in central New York. And this can measures 4¼ inches across the top. Okay, I'm not sure what that is in millimeters off the top of my head, but standard measurements, it's 4½, really outside edge to outside edge. So I'm going to set this aside, and really quick, I don't want to make this video too long, but I have my cook kit here in this little mesh stuff sack. I have the original top that goes with this. I'm going to set that aside. So this is the Stanley Compact Cook Kit, or the Mountain Series Cook Kit. These are about $25 if you can still find them. And the way I have this set up, there's a couple different things. I'm not going to run through, I'm not going to be cooking anything right now. I just wanted to quickly show the stove that I currently have in here made from one of these other cans. This is a new can. I'm not going to show how to modify that, but I will kind of run through that. So this ring that I have on top, that kind of sits in stores. This is top of an old lid. And I used one of these safe can openers that gives you no jagged edges around the top, and it leaves the can nice. So I have that top stored. This is a collapsible cup from Walmart. Now you may wonder why there's a small black ring in there. This is part of my, I took a dollar store reusable coffee filter that had plastic sides on it, and I cut a hole out of the collapsible cup from Walmart, and this is the hole that I cut out. So I essentially have this little piece that came out of the center, and then what I had left was now a collapsible coffee filter that is a drip system that costs literally just a couple bucks. So this works well. You could also, I have tested this boil test. This is glued in to the silicone. It survived several boil tests. It survived several servings of coffee. You could also probably use this to steam something. I'm assuming you might be able to, lightly filter some water if you had to. And the fun thing is, with the rest of this top, if I leave this on here, this actually serves as a top. And take the cup out. This actually does serve as a top that you can boil water in. And again, this silicone has survived a boil test with this pot. And does give you vent holes, so you can use this as a top to boil with, which is really nice. Not really sure, over really large open flames, but over a sterno stove, over the small propane isobutane canisters, this does work well. Inside of this little guy, and again, I like using all the storage space I can. Inside of this little guy, I have a small Bill's Brew. So this came out of a MRE meal, so I just threw that in there, and I also caught a little scrubby pad, little round scrubby pad. So this can stay in there, and it can all nest right inside. So I have 1 cup of coffee, way to scrub the pot. It's all kind of self-contained. Now inside of my pot, hard to see, you can kind of see the stove in there. So this is that can. Now this can fits very snug, and in this cook kit, there are little nubs, 4 little nubs for where the cup locks into. Okay, but this stove, just a little bit of pressure, it pulls out. And this is the little Hobo stove that I made from a can of the Armor Chili. So same can, whatnot. And all I did, this took a little bit of time to do. But I carefully, with a utility knife, I drilled a couple pilot holes in the side, scored with a utility knife, and I left a little flap, and I took a small pair of pliers, and I carefully bent these edges back. So these are all smooth edges now. They're not going to cut. They're all smooth and bent forward. So it gives you a nice smooth opening. The holes around the side I did with a 3/4 inch hole saw. And for the larger holes, and the smaller holes I used probably maybe like a 5/16 drill to do the smaller holes around the side. Gave it enough venting and whatnot. So I had one issue here. This one kind of broke out a little bit when I did the hole saw. So you do have to be careful. These edges were sharp. A couple of them still are. Took a round file to try to smooth them out a little bit. But again, the nice thing is this nests very nicely down inside. It locks down in, won't really fall out, and it all nests together around the cup like this. And when it's all together this way, that locks in, your cup goes in. It sits just a hair higher, but it does lock down enough where that cup is not going to fall out, and it all stays together. So it still locks, but again, you can see the edge is raised up just a little bit, but it still works and locks in. So, cool thing with the stove. The bad thing that I found was that with the stove, the cup wants to sit down inside it just a little bit. So when the stove heats up, this pot sucks down in, and then you're actually lifting the stove up, and that was a problem. I remedied that problem by taking the old top to the stove, and I carefully took a utility knife again and just took some time and scored around over and over and over again. And this is now smooth. If you can see that silver edge, I took the one edge and I carefully, a little bit, back at a time, worked my way around several times. And I had this nice finished edge, which is not sharp at all. You can rub your hands right on it. Not sharp at all. It's a solid edge, nothing broke. It's just all kind of mailed over. And what this does is this allows me to set this on top of the stove, and now my pot sits right on there, and it doesn't suck down in, so it gives me a spot for my pot to rest and won't get stuck in the stove. So pretty cool system. I like it. This has kind of been my go-to. This is in my work bag all the time. So whether on the carpentry job or whether I'm driving, this setup is with me. Inside, I have moist towelette. I have the Spork that came with it. I have one of the very tightly folded napkins, large napkins, paper towels that came out of an MRE kit and just packs very nice. I have another one in part of my bag that this all goes in. One of these will fit inside a mini Altoids container as well to keep it dry. I have a bandana. I have an old cleaned out, very well cleaned out Beard Balm little tin, and inside of this is about 1/4 cup of coffee. So 1 coffee measure is an 1/8 ounce, or I'm sorry, not 1/8 ounce, 1/8 cup. So this will give me 2 good-sized cups of coffee, and 2 scoops of this in my coffee pot at home will give me 20 ounces of coffee in my coffee mug in the morning. Continuing inside, I do have a small Wilcor pocket stove, and that nests nicely inside of there. And then for a second cup for drinking, I have a GSI Outdoor aluminum 14-ounce aluminum cup, which I got from Bass Pro Shops. So this all nests nicely together. Stove goes in the bottom. The can of coffee goes in. The bandana wraps around the stove, wraps around the coffee. This allows everything to not kind of jostle around and keeps it all kind of silent. And then the Spork goes on top. And then the napkin goes, the moist towelette goes. And then my coffee filter goes on top. The top for my little pot ring, that goes on top. The stove would get all cleaned out the best I can. Goes in the pot, and it all locks together. And then the top goes, the handle still locks over all of that to keep it secure. And then usually this top for the pot I'll have here, and this all goes in the bag. Now, the cool thing about this stove, I don't have the pot out here with me, but my Stanley Boil and Brew, this little stove that I have inside of here, the tin can stove, will nest on the outside of the Stanley Boil and Brew, and the handles, with just a little bit of pressure, actually go down inside of it, and it locks the handles together on the outside of the pot to keep them from rattling. I just kind of discovered that the other night. I was messing around, and again, this little stove that I have on the inside from this tin can, this little Hobo stove, get this back open. So this little Hobo stove, this will nest around the Stanley Boil and Brew as well. So if I did not want to use the green insulated cup insert, I could have this stove, I could take this silicone part out, and I could put my Stanley Boil and Brew right inside of this. And if you saw from my other video, the Stanley 2-cup Cookset nests inside the Boil and Brew. I would have a 3-pot system. A lot of overkill for what I need for when I go by myself. If my father-in-law was going with me hunting, I would definitely bring all of this easily. So really awesome setup. But just wanted to share with you guys that this is what I used for that stove. So again, one of the safety cutters gives you the smooth edges, pops the top off. Take one of these grooves and you cut right around the edge over and over and over again with a utility knife very carefully. And you can fold that edge in under. This will give you a ring to sit on top of the stove. That way, so your pot does not go down through. And again, gives you something to rest your pot on while you're cooking. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. I've had a lot of new subscriptions just in the past couple weeks. Thank you so much for that. I'm still a very new channel. I haven't done too many videos. Very much appreciate you guys taking the time to watch, and hopefully some of this stuff will help you to maybe improve your kit. And again, this is the Stanley Compact Cookset, or the Stanley Mountain Series Cookset. And this had, this comes with the insulated cup and with the little spork inside. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please comment below. Again, click the bell, like and subscribe, and share the channel if you can. Again, I appreciate all your views and subscriptions and your support. See you guys next time. This is CNY Bandit Jared, out.